All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to build a pyramid for my Virgos. Of course, I'm included in that mix, being half Virgo myself. Mercury in Virgo, just an all-around hell of a good guy. Oh man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for returning subscribers. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Virgos. Fine people, salt of the earth. So, as I've taken up this new pyramid tarot spread, I've had some interesting readings. Last night's was really kind of erratic, I thought. But we're going to see if we can't do it a little bit better this time, because Virgos are super duper special. Alrighty. Moving on. I've been saying for a while, but just wanted to remind you that I am doing free personal readings for anybody that wants one. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And we'll get in touch, and if you want it posted on the channel, that's great. If not, we can keep it private between you and I. I'm trying, I am perfecting this. I don't try many things. Do or do not. There is no try, says Yoda. And so, whoa, all right. Yeah, so as I'm perfecting this skill and honing it in and trying to do my best to channel energies and feel feelings, and ultimately this is for entertainment purposes, but there most certainly is something to divination, and it's not just for girls, although most of the tarot readers that I've seen have been female. We all have both masculine and feminine energies in us. After all, if you have a mother or had a mother, or let's say it like this, if a mother brought you into this world, then you naturally have her energy. So that's what that is. Get over it, fellas. Moving right along, got the Essential Tarot for your foundation as per my usual. Next layer is with the Witch's Tarot deck. This is the Cosmic Tarot deck, and if you're looking for a good, smooth shuffling deck, this Cosmic Tarot has really been, oh man, that feels so good. You can get this on Amazon, I think, for $12, something like that. It's really a good deal. But it's got, I don't know. I love my Archangel Raphael Oracle deck, but it's a little bit slick. This one has just the right amount of friction and viscosity for me. I hope I used that correct. I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe I didn't. Well, if I didn't, then I'll be mad at myself for it later. Holy crap, you guys. We're just gonna roll with that. So like normal, we're going to cap off the pyramid with an Archangel Raphael capstone healing oracle message. You know, Raphael always brings it, but as opposed to bring the pain, baby, it's more like bring the healing. That's what I'm talking about. Really relaxed guy, that Raphael. Healing is all about relaxation, taking care of yourself. I think about my dad before he left this 3D world that we're in here, and he started going into the hospital a lot in the last year to year and a half. And I'm going to get off on one of my tangents. It's kind of a trademark of the channel, or just of me in general, but as he was going into as he was going into the hospital a lot, you know, we would go and visit him, and the regiment, and I know especially if you're recovering from a heart surgery or a major surgery like that, that's really invasive and you need a lot of extra attention. But and this is not a slight against hospital staff, because they are fine people. Most of them, in my experience, are there because, well, the same reason I'm doing this. They like to try their best to help people. And it's not all about me loving to hear myself talk, even though, yes, I most certainly do. But what I was getting to, before I so rudely interrupted myself, is that rest is such a critical factor in the healing process, and it's always struck me as ironic. I'm pretty sure everybody misuses the word ironic from time to time, but it's strange to me how rest is such a critical factor in the healing process. But when you're in the hospital, nurses are in there, or doctors are in there waking you up like every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes, every hour and a half. And it's impossible to get rest when somebody is constantly in there poking and prodding you. If your pulse ox is going off, if one of your pieces of machinery is going off, yeah, that needs to be attended to. But sometimes just rest and sleep is one of the best things for somebody, especially for their body. And so, I'm sorry, I was having a moment. All right, Virgos, we're going to go ahead and get into this. I try not to get too super duper sad anymore when I'm talking about Pop, because he's actually right here with me. And I know that, but I only get to give him a hug now when I see him in my dreams, and I miss being able to hug my Pop. What a great guy. Taught me nearly everything I know about living this life, and unfortunately I was such a hardhead growing up. Leo, go figure. I was such a hardhead growing up. It's that now I'm learning from him still. Not only because he inspires me with thoughts from time to time, but I feel like I've learned most of my important lessons that he tried to teach me. Excuse me. Since he's left here, I go back in my memories and I remember things that he said that stuck out in my mind. I remember conversations that we had, and it's like I'm going back now and learning all the things that he was trying to teach me then when he was here. Virgos, I'm half Virgo, and I haven't done much research on Virgo in general, but if you're stubborn, it can't be anywhere near as stubborn as Tauruses or Leos, let me just tell you. But if you're stubborn, especially if there's somebody trying to teach you something, open up your heart, open up your mind, open up yourself to receive the messages, because you never know when it will be the last chance that you have to learn something from somebody here. And I'm sorry if I make anybody sad. I love my father very much. Anyway, Virgos, we're going to get onto this pyramid. The two cosmic cards that flew out of the deck there in the upright position are, two fantastic cards, the High Priestess and the King of Cups. I'm still in my learning process, so I'm going to be looking at the definitions to the cards that I'm not, 100% clear on, but we're going to go ahead and build this thing together, folks. Holy crap. All right, you got the Hanged Man, the Two of Pentacles, Death, and the Knight of Rods. For those of you that are new to tarot, the Death card is not a bad thing. It looks scary. It's a skeleton riding a horse with armor on. Looks like he's going into war, but to me that's spiritual warfare, of which, whether we know it or not, I think we're more or less always engaged in. Or that's something in which we are always engaged, I should say. We've got the Moon card, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Wands. There's definitely a lot of fire energy in this reading. I always save my capstone Raphael healing message for the end. So, Virgos, this looks like, well, I'll say it like this. This feels like one of the best messages, since I started doing tarot readings, this feels like one of the best messages that I've gotten so far. Yeah, the overall feel is really, really good. The King of Cups and the High Priestess, that feels to me like a power couple. I mean, they're right next to each other and they flew out together. I will go back for some book definitions at the end, but right off the rip, some of you are fortunate enough to have a wonderful woman or a wonderful man in your life, Virgos, and I'm hearing make sure you always take good care of each other. Always. Don't sweat the small stuff, as Dad used to tell me. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's always small stuff. So, the Hanged Man is typically about a change in perspective. It sounds bad again. A lot of these sound from societal programming like they would be bad things, but the Hanged Man basically is hanging upside down from a tree to get a different view of what he's looking at. And so the Hanged Man always indicates a change of perspective to me. The Two of Pentacles is a great card. You can see the two pentacles with a cord wrapped around them, creating a Vesca Pisces in the middle. And 8, of course, is the symbol for infinity when you turn it sideways. Death is sort of like the Tower card. It's sort of like a change in circumstances. It's literally the death of a situation or the death of a particular set of circumstances. The Knight of Rods is one of the fastest moving cards in the deck. Typically, I feel Leo energy, but I'm half Leo, so that's normal for me to want to always get back to me. The important thing to remember, people, is it's all about me. The Two of Rods I like, but it normally makes me feel like somebody's carrying the weight of the world. Although this person, as you can see, has condensed the world down into a grapefruit or actually a pomelo sized thing. If you don't know what a pomelo is, check Publix or your local grocery store and check it out. It is a wonderful and delicious fruit. It's like an orange, but it's actually like that big. I think it's in the grapefruit family, but it's not bitter like a grapefruit is. Not particularly fond of grapefruits. The Five of Wands, usually has, I won't say bad juju associated with it, but it indicates to me always a conflict. There are too many different opinions, too many opposing opinions flying at each other because there's some sort of argument or confusion trying to work out or a resolution trying to be reached. But what I always feel like whenever I see the Five of Wands is people need to come together and work as a team. Not in this deck, but in the Essential Tarot deck, it's like 5 teenagers all with a stick beating the shit out of each other. One of the guys hitting this guy in the head while the guy next to him is hitting this guy in the head. And it's like, I don't usually sense a lot of real animus, not a real sense of animosity with this card, although this time, Virgo, one of you guys out there, or maybe a couple of you, are dealing with somebody that really does not dig the cut of your jib. Somebody really doesn't care for the way that you talk, the way that you carry yourself. But you know what? Screw them. It's your life. It's your path to walk. And you do what you do. As my buddy Josh says, you do you, boo-boo. That's how that should go. And if somebody else's opinion of you doesn't line up, but you know that you're acting from your heart chakra, forget about them. Don't spend one moment of your time concerning yourself with what they think of you, because ultimately it's not important. That old saying, opinions are like assholes, everybody's got one and they all stink. That's for some of you guys. For some of you guys, I feel like there's some, I don't want to say pettiness and petulance, but that's kind of what it feels like. If you're arguing and you're legitimately, and I'm not necessarily saying trying to hurt each other, but you are hurting each other over little things, little disagreements, just drop it. Just don't sweat it, drop it, and move on. And that's all the time that I'm going to spend on that card, but the rest of this really is just phenomenal. This guy, what I was saying, the Two of Wands, he's reduced the world to the size of a pomelo, and he's carrying it around. So carrying the weight of the world, but made it smaller. If you've seen the movie Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, or Cavill, I'm not sure how you say that, the best guy, and I'm sorry Christopher Reeves fans, the best guy to ever play Clark Kent and Superman has been Henry Cavill, or Cavill. He fits the part. Tremendously talented actor, and by the way, he's going to be the new what's that guy's name? The Witcher is one of my favorite video games, and the lead character, his name is just not coming to me, but Superman is going to be the Witcher, and if you haven't seen the preview, go check out the Witcher preview. It looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see it. The moon, I'm pretty sure we're talking about Taurus energy, but the moon card normally is significant of illuminating things that have been previously hidden. King of Cups, just fantastic. The King of Cups, cups, we're talking about water energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, but we're also talking about emotions. The King of Emotions. Damn it, is this another reading just for me? The High Priestess, somebody that's, she's definitely got it going on. She's a mystically inclined person. Probably some of you Virgos are into tarot readings, or just boning up on astrology, or teaching yourself things that you don't find in the public education system, because it's crap. The saying, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. Well, if it's not knowledge, it's crap, is what I'm saying. Okay, and before we get to the capstone, I'm going to look up some definitions here and see if I get any extra messages coming in. And let's see, the Hanged Man. Card number 12. Calm and alert. The Hanged Man doesn't appear uncomfortable in his suspended state. He's actually smiling. Suggests a step backward, a distancing from everyday concerns. So many of us have so many things that we could constantly be worrying about on a daily basis. If you're one of those constant worriers, which Virgos are incredibly analytical, and when you think about so many things, there are that many more reasons to worry. I would go to your local mystic shop. There's one in Fayetteville, Georgia called Uniquely Gifted, which is where I got most of these magic rocks, or gemstones, as you might call them, crystals. There are certain ones like amethyst, tourmaline. I want to say tourmaline. No, I'm not sure if that's accurate. But one of those shops that have these stones will give you descriptions with them, or you can do your own research, which is always recommended. But there are crystals and stones that you can carry with you, either that correspond with your astrological sign, correspond with your numerology and your name, or just in general. Amethyst doesn't have to be, I believe it's Pisces. I gave my mom one yesterday because she worries. Although she's really gotten a lot better about compartmentalizing those kind of things. But yeah, there's gemstones and different crystals and things like that can actually relieve worry, that can relieve stress. And if it's not stones that you're into, find something to reduce your stress levels, because stress in your body releases certain hormones into your bloodstream that actually cause illnesses. And that's scientific fact. You can go look it up for yourself. I always encourage everyone to do their own research and not accept what I say as fact. indicates a period of rest and reassessment. Something new is on the horizon, but you must be patient. If you are a Leo, I'm sorry. Patience is not the easiest thing, and sometimes it just plain sucks to have to wait for something. But that's just how it is. This is life. And the Death card, a skeletal rider on a pale horse bears the banner of a white rose. I'm reminded of the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell, who was just the quintessential Wyatt Earp. Doc Holliday, they could not have found anyone better than Val Kilmer to play Doc Holliday in that movie. And he is your Huckleberry, believe that. But in the movie, in the beginning of the movie, the cowboys ride up and, kill everybody at a wedding and sit down and eat their food that was supposed to be for their reception. And one of the quotes was, and behold, I see a pale horse, and the man that sat on him was death, and hell followed with him. And I love that movie. It's the best. I'm not big on westerns in general, but Tombstone is just fantastic. They tried to make another sort of movie like that called Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner as Wyatt Earp, and it's like, man, you can't follow Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp. I'm sorry. And Kevin Costner is one of my favorite actors. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was my favorite, or one of my favorite movies growing up. Fantastic soundtrack too. Bryan Adams had a great song in that soundtrack. Anyway, I digress. 13, death. Accept change so rebirth can occur. Yeah, so whatever it is that you're dealing with, sometimes it hurts your heart to let things go, to let people go. But in order to make way for the new, you have to clear out the old. And that's just how that is. While I'm on the major arcana section, we'll also look at the high priestess. Let's see. Ruled by the moon, with the mark of Isis on her forehead and a crucifix around her neck, symbols of spirituality. She is balanced between the pillars of peace and severity, signifies a mystical quietness. Something remains hidden, so do not rush. Remain in a state of balance. With patience and intuition, all will be revealed. So that's it. Be patient. Listen to your heart. Everything will come to you in time. Knight of Rods. Fire sign energy as rods are. I always think about Leos when I see the Knight, though. Leos are just the shit. I'm sorry the rest of you guys, but Leos are the best. The divine children of the zodiac. I love you guys so much. And I can say that and not be offended because I am half Leo. Primarily Leo and half Virgo. Virgos are awesome too. I would say one of the smartest signs. I'd put Virgo's intellects up against Gemini's, I think. And not to leave out the Aquarians or the Cancerians, but particularly sharp Virgo and Gemini minds. Knight of Rods. The Knight bears the emblem of the dragon, fiery, passionate, and ready to take on the world. This is the sign of the explorer. Also signifies travel, adventure, and a change of residence. So somebody might be, you know what? I said he's a fast mover, and he is. I don't want to be the guy that reads that and then says, yeah, so some of y'all might be moving. Because, yeah, well, the book just said that. So I'm going to read the definitions and kind of tell you what I think about it. And I'm likely, being half Virgo with my Mercury in Virgo and my Moon in Gemini, I'm likely to constantly change how I feel like doing these things. I always make plans that I think are solid plans. And then when I get there, I'm like, I'm going to do something else instead. It's something that can aggravate the hell out of a lot of people, but it's just me. Let me see here. The moon, yes. Yes, of course, the moon. Still working on that Sean Connery voice. I'm not going to say it. I almost said Swords Alex again. Oh, what the hell? Swords, Alex. I like swords for 400. The moon rules the subconscious. Psychic powers are revealed. Intuition is strong as the moon waxes and wanes. Beware of deception. And the shifting sands of superficial relationships also suggest that unusual supernatural events may occur. A touch of lunacy is in the air. Hey, fun fact. Only women technically can be lunatics, and men are maniacs because lunar energy typically is female. No, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure I got that right. If you manage to prove me wrong on something that I say, please leave it in the comment section below because I don't find that offensive. In fact, I've gotten to a point in my life where I enjoy being corrected, so that all that does is make me smarter than I was, before it happened. And I was pretty damn smart to start with. Yeah, you know what? I like that so far, and we're going to go ahead and close this out with the Archangel Raphael. I almost said second favorite, but him and Michael are a tie for me. So we're going to see what he say. Do more research, Derek. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for clearly and gently leading me to the information that I need to know for my well-being. Please give me the courage to be assertive as I take charge of my healthcare needs. Do more research, and I think I've already mentioned that a couple of times before we even got to that card. Don't ever take anybody's word for anything unless you trust them with your life, and even then, it's still not a bad idea and should not be insulting to that person to go look it up for yourself. And I am going to read from the book with the doing research just to see, because there's always a little extra nugget in here. Healthcare is a partnership between a patient, healer, and God. This card serves as a reminder that it's important to fulfill your role. So don't just leave it up to God and the healthcare provider. Listen to yourself too. Listen to your intuition, people, in all things, all the time. Don't remain passive. Instead, listen to the divine whispers within your thoughts and feelings, which are the voices of God and Archangel Raphael guiding your steps in the healing process. Trust your feelings and know that you have rights and options. Possible specific meanings: get a second, third, or fourth opinion. Read the latest studies about this condition. Speak up and ask your healthcare provider questions. Look for an alternative healer or healthcare facility. Be open-minded about alternative treatments. Don't let anybody tell you just because they have a PhD or a DVM or an MD or whatever it is, just because they have the word doctor in front of their name, don't let them tell you that they are the ultimate authority on whatever condition is that you have. You can do your own research, and especially don't let any of them tell you, don't let any of them dismiss the possible benefits of something like acupuncture or getting a good message in a tarot reading. Anything like that, anything that helps you heal is medicinal, period. Some people get so caught up in, oh, it's got to be this because, that's what the book said and that's what this person said and he's got a degree. So I'm not saying not to trust people with degrees. They worked their ass off to get where they are, but they don't know everything. Like I said before, the person that graduated last in their class still gets to be a doctor. And the fact is, unless you've known this person your whole life or you have some evidence that shows that they're even the best doctor in the world, folks, can still be wrong. And I would say more often than not, doctors in my experience kind of dismiss the holistic or alternative medicine approaches to things. And that's okay. They're entitled to their opinions just as you are entitled to yours. And ultimately, since you're the one making the decisions for your life, listen to yourself before anybody else. That's what I got for you, Virgos. If you enjoyed the content, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I couldn't think of anything super clever there. I love you guys. Deuces.